various trials, because trials come in a variety of ways. What are some of those? What are some of those? We operate in a world that is a bit broken. You do know that, right? It's a bit broken. In fact, Jesus said it was going to be like that. He said in John 16 that in this world we would have trouble, but that we should be encouraged because He has overcome the world. Okay? So in spite of all of the various trials, there's still reason to have great hope. And so as I share with you today, everything I tell you, just know this: I am standing up on great hope today. There are darts and there are discouragement and there are sifting, but there is reason to have great hope. Here are some reasons why there are various types of trials. Sometimes it is in this space, and you're in between here, and there's a bit of financial loss. Finances are a big deal. Finances carry with it emotion. Like you try something and it's a disaster, well, that's discouraging. There's just no getting around it. That is the human side of things. You tried something, it did not work. You had a contract, the contract is over, and it's not going to last. You had funds in the stock market of the world, and it's been at a loss, it's been at a dive, and there's loss. And it just, you cannot count it all joy, can you? It's hard. Thank you so much. Could you come up here and help me? It's true. There's a lot of emotion carried with when there's a resource or there's a lack of resource. And I'm going to just talk about the lack of resource because I want you to identify with what is unknown about getting to over here, and you're having to trust the Lord, and it looks like in the physical and in the natural things that it's just not going to work. And that's what I've experienced in the last 2 weeks. On a personal level, that there's a loss, and I don't see a way around it. I don't see a recovery, and I'm kind of stuck. And I'm over here, and I'm praying for wisdom, and I'm still feeling stuck. And yet, so I'm speaking back to the Lord. Lord, you promised some wisdom, and I need some of that. Would you give me some wisdom in this matter? Guys, I'm trying to be honest with you today. That I'm not superhuman. I'm not riding on a cloud above everything else, and I'm not here just to entertain you or tell you or try to make me look a little bit more lofty or on a higher level. I'm trying to tell you, if I could, I'd just come and sit with you today. We're all human, and we're all working with the same God, and that there is a real enemy who wants to discourage and wants to poke some holes and rain on your parade. Here's another reality. It may not be financial, but there's sickness and there really is disease. You know, we're in a body here that I can tell you is wearing out. This body is aging. I'm not as fast as I used to be. I'm still fast, but not. Try me. But not fast enough. I'm slowing down. I ache a little more. This body was not designed to carry me forever, or you. It's a reality of this broken world. There is some challenges in the health realm. And we get older, or someone else. You know people. You have people in your family, and they're aging. And it's not just the age, but there's something that they have battled, and perhaps the sickness has even resulted in loss. And so you have lost a loved one. And so you're trying to get from point A to point B, and there's great discouragement, as we're very honest, because various trials for you has been that it just didn't go the way that you thought and the way that you hoped that it would go. Sometimes it's just criticism. I occasionally get criticized. Anybody else? I mean, guys, if you're leading anything, and there's a lot of leaders out here. I see teachers and ministry leaders and small business leaders, and you're leading something. And if you lead, then you are going to get criticized. People are going to take some shots at you. People are going to tell you how you need to be leading. And hopefully, though, you've been over here in this spot, and God has called you to what you're doing, and in spite of the criticisms, you may find yourself, you're trying to get from point A to point B, but honestly, you come in here sometimes, and maybe it's even this day, and you're down a little bit. You've been criticized. You've taken some shots. You've had to walk through disagreement. Do you know that not everybody always agrees with me? It's true. It's true. They don't agree with you either. And so when people do not agree, then there's got to be some difficult discussions. There's got to be difficult and hard conversations. And so you're trying to get from point A to point B, and maybe everything I've already said is what you're walking in and living in right now. You've had all of the above so far. You're just checking off the list. Sometimes it's like, just like I described, you're stuck. You're trying to get from point A to point B, and you're not sure about the job. You're not sure you're in the right job, and you're not sure how to get to the other spot and where you should be, and you're trying to make a decision. Should I buy? Should I sell? What does this look like? And all of this brings about a bit of stress. Sometimes, and let me just touch on this because I don't have time this morning, but I do want to in another Sunday, but I hear a lot these days about church hurt. And you're trying to get from point A to point B, and your experience and your walk is that you have been hurt somehow within the realm of the church. But please let me clarify, please hear me for a moment, is that it is not the church that has actually hurt you. It's an individual or a group of individuals. It is a person. It is not the church. It may have been in the context of church, but that is God's vehicle, God's redemptive vehicle, what God is using to bring together and to shine light into a dark world. But there were people within that, and they were perhaps abusive. That's what I'm talking about. They abused their authority in one way or another, and it could have been just. It could even be physical abuse. It is actually sexual abuse, unfortunately. There are a lot of ways that people are abused in the context of church today. Within that realm also, it is just that sometimes we weren't agreed with. And so you left one church because someone, it wasn't exactly that they physically hurt you. It was more that, well, they didn't agree with you. And James later on says that's the source of a lot of quarrels and a lot of strife, is that you did not get your way, and so you leave one spot and go to the other. But that's part of the makeup as well, and you're trying to navigate that. And then you come into this place, and I can tell you, as far as I know, you have not been abused here. I have not done that. And as far as I know, any other leader has not done that. But the problem sometimes with dealing with this mentality of church hurt, and if you were hurt, then you need to leave. But if you just got your feelings hurt or something didn't go your way, then part of maturity is your ability to discern and figure out, and you just don't leave things, you don't abandon the plan, you don't quit walking in obedience just because you got your feelings hurt. More on that on a coming date. I learned another word this year from a good friend. He told me what it was to be butthurt. And I'm not going to call him out today. But it was a new word for me. And the dictionary defines butthurt as mental distress or irritation caused by an overreaction to a perceived personal slight, a bad outcome. Butt hurt, mental distress, irritation. Butt hurt can challenge maturity. And we can be butt hurt, but sometimes, unfortunately, we've abandoned the plan of obedience because we've been butt hurt.